before either I catch one or the barracuda tries to take it from me. We move to a little bit more shallow of an area. I see a really nice sized hogfish, and I aim at it just waiting for it to turn broadside to me, and broadside means that I get more surface area when I hit it. We were able to recover it, and it was quite a stud. It came in at like 19 inches. These are French angelfish right here, and you're not allowed to shoot them, but they're so pretty and curious. They always come up to you as if you're family. The French angelfish took me to a rock where there was a fish holed up in there, and whenever you're aiming into a rock, you don't want to put too much pressure on the end of your spear tip, because if you do and you miss the fish, it'll wind up hitting the rock really hard, and A, you could kill a live coral, but B, you could also dull your spear tip. My dive buddy pointed out a nice fish under this rock, and he was using a flashlight. If he didn't point it out, I would have never known that anything was in there. It was a nice red grouper. Not a lot of people know that red grouper are one of the best fish to eat in Florida. This one came in at about 22 inches. They need to be 20 inches for you to legally keep them. They have an extremely white meat, and they're also a very curious fish. Like, even if they're out in the open and you see one of them, they won't really run away from you. After putting the grouper in the cooler, I locked in on this sheep's head. Usually sheep's head are pretty smart, like they're running away from you pretty quickly once they get their eye on you. So every time I was sneaking up on this thing, I made sure to really cheat the corner and make sure that he wasn't able to see me fully. Finally though, he holed up, and this is kind of like a death sentence for any fish. If he's just in a hole and I have to shoot point blank, it's really good news.
Right?
We're in an area right now that is very shallow. It's only about 8 feet deep, so there are a lot of snappers, but with that being said, it's a pretty remote location, so it was very, very plentiful. This is a pretty good sized hogfish, and I was aiming at it, but I couldn't really tell if it was the legal size, and on top of that, we already had a nice hogfish. I still followed him, and this is a good example of when they think they're camouflaged. Hogfish have this funny behavior where they'll kind of just change patterns on the drop of a dime, and you can see that that's what he did right there. Just because we're shallow doesn't mean that there is a lack of sharks. This nurse shark came like an inch from my face at one point. I turned my camera on late, but he scared the crap out of me. I went to go tell my buddy about the shark in the area, and when we came back to the chum cage, there was another red grouper right below it. And this is what I mean by they're not the smartest fish. Like, I'm literally an inch away from this thing, and usually any fish would run in this situation, but this guy is just totally taking the bait. No, that's not even an analogy. That's just legit. We weren't really sure he was the legal size, so we came up with a good strategy.
What if we catch him with our hands and then measure him and then release him if he's small?
I started trying to get really close to this red grouper, and it's kind of, you know, you almost feel bad for him at one point because you're like, damn, you know, why do you gotta be so dumb, you know? At least make it so that it's a little bit of a hunt, but this guy was really just hanging so close, and he was so curious. I was trying to catch him with our hands because I don't want to just spear a fish and then it be undersized. I usually don't take a shot unless I know a fish is definitely legal. It wasn't letting me get my hands on him though, and I didn't want to stress it out, so I kept swimming and came across this stingray that was completely buried. Legally, I am allowed to harvest this thing. Like, I can shoot it and eat it, so leave a comment.